What's up, guys? Welcome to the second solo show, the second Rex X Gray Area. I'm sitting here. I've got my dog in studio, and I think I have dog cam working. Let me try to switch to it without messing the show up. And maybe I can, maybe I can't. I think I set the input to something different. I'll fix it up later on in the stream. Welcome to the show. It's more of a relaxed vibe. At least it's going to be until we get to about like 5, 6, or 7 of these solo episodes, right? I'm still figuring out what exactly I want to do with the solo show and where I want to take it. I appreciate all of y'all being here with me tonight. And we've got news to get into, specifically the riot stuff and the Greenland invasion and the prediction markets going crazy. So there is a lot to cover and a lot to take care of tonight. And I look forward to doing that with you guys. Let's see what y'all are saying. 12 comments. That's a lot this early on. Jesse, yes, yes. I don't like saying it like that's it's just cringe to like say it or put it in your bio or something. It's funny because you've been in my comments for months. I recognize you. Um, and I am live now, so you can't complain about that. Thank you for reposting the stream. Everyone that's doing that, that's really nice of you to do. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Dahar. Thank you. Thank you, Trans Tim Kennedy. It's always good to see you in the chat. Yeah, we're chilling. This is a chill stream. I wanted to title the stream Wholesome Chungus Stream, but I don't think that's good for the algorithm. And that's also not really what the show is about, but it kind of is. So, like, I've been trying to figure things out as to where I want to take the show. And I was getting into some supplement stuff that I wanted to bring to y'all. And I was like, man, like this isn't what people want to hear late at night when they tune in. They want to hear about news. They want to hear about something casual. They don't want like, you don't want to learn about plants or like herbs or whatever. So I think what I'm going to do is at least 1 or 2 days a week, I'm going to do a morning show as well. And I think we'll get into that there. I think that's more fun and proper to do there. I want these shows at least at first to really be a feedback space between me and you where you guys can give me suggestions and point to guests because we've had so many great people in the X audience. Shout out Honey Badger, shout out New Groiper, shout out Nimrod Pod, who have either given us valuable information, given us like info or knowledge of guests we didn't know about, or just like general topic recommendations. I appreciate that stuff. One of my big goals for the new year is to read more. And it's like one of my resolutions, right? So I was thinking about this for New Year's resolutions. And I usually try to do them. I usually fail really bad, but it's usually because I'm like, I have to do this. This is the first day of the year. If I mess up here, like it's finito, right? I'm not doing that anymore. I have about a dozen things I really want to get better at this year. About half of those include what we're doing here. And that includes like becoming a better speaker, becoming a better reader, becoming more knowledgeable and knowing more, just being able to convey that to you guys. But it's also a lot of like fun stuff as well. Like I want to become a better shot this year. I really want to spend time at the range and practice. I really want to become a better swimmer this year. I want to swim. There's a spot out in Lake Travis. Anyone that's local will know, called Hippie Hollow, but they have a 1,300-yard lane in like the middle of the lake. And I really want to swim there. So I want to get in good enough shape to do that. So that's a big goal for me this year. And just starting lifting again, man. A lot of stuff. 2025 was really hard. Like between people dying and my granddad getting in a car accident, it was tough. But focusing in on a bunch of different topics and then what I want to do in my personal life is a lot for me. And I'm grateful I have you guys to talk to about this stuff. I'm looking forward to hearing your suggestions really about the new year, about the show, but also, anything you want me to look into doing, anything you might think would be cool to try this year. This year's about trying new things. So really appreciate anyone tuning in tonight. Again, thank you for being here. Would you agree that Israel is eventually going to drag us into Iran if nothing else does? I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that happens this year. It already happened last year. And, I'm highly critical of what Trump did. I'm totally against it. But at the end of the day, like that was a contained, isolated thing. And we just said, oh, we destroyed your nuclear facilities and whatnot. And they got the enriched uranium out and the facility is not as damaged as we said it was. But it was something where both nations could save face. Like Iran, they launched missiles at one of our bases and it didn't hit anything. But it's like, ooh, oh, they struck back, whatever. So they can feel tough about that. And then they can, not be completely humiliated. But at the end of the day, they were humiliated and we sent B-2 bombers over there, which is something we should not do, right? And we did it at the behest of another country, right? An act of war at the behest of another country, which is something that we do a lot, right? So I'm totally against that, Tim Kennedy. Totally against it. Shout out Abdullah. Shout out to you. Is this the second show? Yeah, this is the second Rex X Gray Area. I mean, we've done like, I think it's 40 episodes of the Gray Area itself, which is Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday with me and Tim. I'm also on Rumble. This is on Rumble, Dahar. If you want to watch it over there, a lot of people want to watch the show on a platform other than X, and that's why I recommend subscribing to the YouTube or the Rumble, because I'm like that too. And like Twitter is great and whatever. But when it comes to streaming and whatnot, it can have its downsides, especially if you want to do something else with your phone. It's very buggy. Thank you, Dahar. Where's your other friend? Tim is not here. Tim doesn't do shows on the Monday, Friday, Saturday. This is a new thing in the new year. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, that's the Gray Area, right? And then Rex X Gray Area is Monday, Friday, Saturday. Oh, this is funny. Excuse me. Cold weather, allergies kind of stopped up still. But it's funny. I was thinking about it, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do the show Monday. I'm going to do the show Friday, and then do normal Gray Area Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. That's fine. And I said, if I don't do it on Saturday, or if I do it on, if I don't do it on Saturday, they'll say that I'm Jewish and I'm doing Shabbat. So I have to do the show. I have to work on a Saturday to prove to the psychos out there that I'm not like a 33 degree or whatever it's called Mason. So here I am on Saturday, working hard for you to disprove the myth. So now we're having fun. Sorry, I didn't know. No, it's okay. Do you support Nick Fuentes? I follow him. He follows me. What do you think? I like him. I'm a big fan of broadcast media, and he's the most talented person in the generation. Like, there is no question. And like the way I was raised, like I can appreciate talent. So yeah, I'm a fan. There's a lot to be said for your pleasant demeanor. Thank you, Tigress. I appreciate that. I enjoy just listening to you, whatever you say. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes like I can't stand the sound of my voice sometimes, but I've been watching back some of the shows, and I've been enjoying it a little bit more. You know, like when I was younger, when I was working at InfoWars, I hated editing myself. I was just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm like, okay, you know what? I sound like an adult now, at least, and that's nice. Yeah, I got the call. I got the 7,000. I need the 7,000 shit. No, I can't curse. That's one of the resolutions. What am I doing the worst at? Probably. The diet's been pretty good. There have been a couple Chinese food incidents and egg roll attacks. But besides that, I mean, it's been good. I've been in deficit, been eating primarily meat and consuming at least like a pound to a pound and a half of meat a day. I want to get up to 2. And then once you're there, you kind of just don't want to eat anything else. And your like stomach gets trained to eat that. And that's how I ate in East Texas. And like that's the shortcut to just getting in shape. And people are like, oh, you're doing carnivore or like whatever. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm just doing a diet at the end of the day. Like, oh, like I'm a vegan or like whatever. It's like, okay, so like you eat plants or whatever. I just like the omnivorous diet, but one that excludes bread and therefore glyphosate. I think that was one of the main things that messed my stomach up as a kid. Big time was eating all the bunny pasta. Big mistake. The poison in the Amy's, even though it's good. So like whenever I eat a lot of stuff like that, it hurts me. And then when I eat a lot of protein, a lot of animal-based products, a lot of dairy, really, like it's interesting how the Russians eat. They eat a lot of dairy as well. Thank you, DJ. Ketovore. Yeah, everyone, everything's got a new name. The interesting thing about keto, and see, the thing is, like, I am a supplement guru. I do understand body metabolism and how things work. So, like, if you're going to do keto, you have to eat, like, majority fat. It's like you're having, like, butter coffee and stuff all day. And that just, like, I don't know. I like to eat more protein than is allowed on a keto diet if I'm dieting, right? And, you know, if I'm not dieting, if I'm just eating, like, crap, I might have like 100 to 125 grams of protein a day. But if you eat keto, you can't even have that much. And then I find myself wanting to eat more if I'm eating primarily fat. So I don't know. There's this stuff has been litigated so much across YouTube and forums and whatever. Like there are people that professionally diet to get down to like 6% body fat, and they're vegan people that do it, carnivore people that do it, whatever people that do it. It's all just like caloric restriction. A high protein diet. And, maybe it makes more sense to eat the plant because you have to eat so much plant. You have to eat so much plant protein because it's so much less bioavailable that your stomach is full and so much fiber you can't deal with anything else. But I can't handle that level of bean. I cannot do it. So that's not for me. I have news I want to give to, but I'm having fun talking to you guys. What's going on in the comments? What's your stance on the Venezuela situation? I mean, I'm against it. I consider it to be an act of war. And I'm against it from the long-term perspective of the degradation of like the American balance or checks and balances on powers and the elevation of the executive branch to basically he can do whatever he wants. It's the same reason why like I don't like ICE, right? Like I'm pro deportation and I want them all gone. Like that is how I feel. But I don't like the military police operation that was put into place in 2003 along with the Patriot Act. And like this is what I was raised to disagree with. So I look at it and I'm just like, man, everyone can cheer for it, go, it's amazing, I love Trump, he's my number one. But then when AOC gets in office and she uses it to take your guns, it'll be like, well, I don't know what happened. It's just like, man, like here's my thing. I'm done at this point. All these stories, I cover them, I break them down, and we talk about them. But I look at it as like some sort of sick joke at this point because we're about 10 to 15 years out to the younger generation being able to make actual political change. And they can swing elections and do things now. And that's one of the reasons why Trump is in office. But the boomers will rule until the apocalypse. And then something good will come out of it. So I'm on the ride for that. I'm chilling on that. I'm interested to see how it develops, how the boomers end up pushing the button to go World War III, which I do think happens either this year or the beginning of next year. It's interesting because me and Tim, we had a little prediction bet for $0 or whatever, just something that we said or that I said, really. And I was like, I bet you that the war will happen this year, meaning 2025. And he goes, no, it'll happen next year. It's still going to happen, though. And he's right. So just only by a few days, but he's right with the Venezuela thing. And then I would have people in my audience go, oh, that's not a war. It's a tactical operation or whatever. And up to 60 days, whatnot. And it's like, well, we kidnapped their president. It's like we took your leader. And I thought Tim Dillon did an excellent reflection on this in his latest program. And I really liked it because it's just like, ultimately, if you're pro this, like Fuentes is pro this and he's pro Western imperialism, pro imperialism or whatever, that's fine. That can be your political position. That's not my political position. I'm constitutional. I don't even like the term conservative anymore. I'm just constitutional. I like the constitutional republic. It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi saying like for the republic, for democracy, for the democratic republic. That is what I support. So like I don't even know anymore because I thought Trump was a solution for like a decade. And I'm a real anti-war guy. I'm a pacifist. I don't like seeing people die in explosions or in wars. And the Gaza footage and the Ukraine footage has just been so horrific for the past 2 years. It's what made me get back into filming. And then now to see him continue the same stuff and to sign off on it and to pal around with Netanyahu and Miriam Adelson and laugh and joke at fundraising dinners and post AI edits of Trump Gaza. It's all too much. It's too sick. And it's not what I voted for. And you know what? Maybe definitely that's my fault for not being informed enough. And then people go, well, you want Kamala? You want Kamala next? I guarantee someone's thinking that right now watching the stream. And the answer is no. Of course, I don't want Kamala next. That's not what I wanted. Right. But at the end of the day, they're all going to do the same stuff. And it's like, maybe one takes your guns, maybe one doesn't. Maybe one gives you some healthcare credit, maybe one doesn't, whatever. It's just like, what freedom do you want to lose and win? Right. And then they don't even give you a choice about the nation. The nation goes off the hill regardless. Right. And you think about how bad things have been. You think about COVID. You think about that being 5 years ago when that happened. And you think about how much better things were just in the 2010s, just in that first Trump period. I mean, that's why we voted for him, right? Like, that's why I voted for him, at least. I was like, we're going to see some version, some resurgence of that because Biden was the worst president in American history, right? I believe still is. Just for the image of weakness that was projected, it was beyond anything. He hid in a bunker. He would come out on stimulants or just completely faded out, and we had to pretend the emperor had no clothes, and then half the country was serious about voting for him, or at least was signaling that, the Democrats, whatever. And you look at that and it being so insane, and then you're like, Trump's coming back. He had bad people around him the first term. He's going to do a good job this time. And then, like, what do we get? What do we get? We get like neocon Looney Tune cartoon. It's literally like shit coin, meme coin. We're going to do bombings for Israel. We're going to give them more weapons. We're going to chastise Zelensky and give you the ultimate strip tease of, oh, we're going to leave and we're done with Ukraine, and then continuing to fund them and continuing the operations and allowing them to do things like try to kill Putin twice and blow up Russia's strategic nuclear bombers, part of their triad, and do these things. And it's just like, well, we're America. We can do whatever we want. And the thing that's crazy is I used to actually not believe that. I used to think we overhyped ourselves. Now I'm like, damn, like, what do we have? What are we capable of? And it's even starting to work on me. So I imagine with these other countries, they look at us, they look at our bloated budget for, dozens, decades of years, and they go like, what do they actually have? I still don't think we have as much as we were saying, but we're projecting power into a lot of different regions and making a lot of people nervous. And I look at the Ukraine war, and you look at it and it's an abject failure, right? Like, it was very simple. In March of 2022, there was a peace agreement. There was a peace meeting in Istanbul, and there were 3 terms. And it was, number one, Crimea is ours. You recognize it. It's the end of that discussion, period, forever. Number 2, the Donbass regions, Donetsk, Kherson, and Luhansk, those are independent. They get to vote for their own sovereignty. And then number 3, no NATO. That's what they wanted. That's all they wanted. That's totally reasonable. Imagine if someone put missiles in Cuba or was doing military exercises in Cuba. Imagine if China was doing that. Imagine what we would do. And Boris Johnson, and I didn't even know who he was barely. Like when I was a teenager, I was like, oh, that's just the guy with the funny hair, right? Like thinking about him kind of like British Trump or whatever. Didn't know anything about him. And then post-COVID, we revisit Boris Johnson. What is he on? He's on a very important assignment. And he's got to go over, to the Ukraine and tell Zelensky that we're going to back him to the hilt and he's got to continue the war. And then you look at it and the numbers are everywhere because the Russians put out numbers, the Ukrainians put out numbers. I tend to believe the Russians more, but let's just say 500,000 dead. Okay. On the Ukrainian side. And it's a lot more than that. But let's just live in a fairy tale world and say that's the number. And then it's a lot less for the Russians, but still, these are like World War II level numbers. It's beyond anything. And this is going on in the world. And while that's going on, you look at the failure and you're like, man, we really lost here. Like the U.S., we just burned 300 billion. Oh, the U.S. lost. Sure, we lost 300 plus billion, whatever it is. Oh, Syria falls because Russia can't protect the Assad regime anymore. Isn't that interesting? Oh, and now Lebanon's about to fall too because a lot of the same reasons. Isn't that interesting? Who does that benefit? Cui bono. Who does that benefit? Does that benefit us or does that benefit Israel? And the argument is, oh, well, it benefits Israel through us because they're our strongest ally. We need to control the region. Oh. And it's just like, at that level, I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to the liquor store. And I'm going to get a bottle of Tito's and I'm going to drink half of it and play Fortnite South Park because the country's going to burn anyway. And the people in power will say that to us and they get voted back into office. I mean, how am I supposed to support Donald Trump, the man who endorses Lindsey Graham? We criticized MTG on the show for the rapid gain in income in office. And like that's a fair criticism. I still really like her. I'm not, it's a don't hate the player, hate the game type of situation. But people like her, that in his darkest moments when he was indicted, 37 counts, 98 counts, all this stuff, whatever, getting the mug shot, all of it. In all these dark times, the people that were there for him, like my dad, like MTG, others, those are the people that he makes up new nicknames to insult. And then the people in the past who he insulted and made fun of to get the support of the public, he is now desperate to win their approval. And that's where I'm done. And I'm just like, you can't make me say this is good. You absolutely can't do it. You can't piss on me and tell me that it's raining. So as I sit here, and I sit here not as a Republican, not as a Democrat, I guess an independent, whatever. I sit here as an American wanting change in my system, and there is no viable option. And then beyond the leadership, we've talked about the leadership. Let's get into the political public or the politically aware public or whatever we want to say. Because I think we're all unaware. Even people like me that like follow the news or whatever. I think I'm unaware too. I think it's all propaganda at a certain level. You have one side of people where they will support anything Trump does because MAGA victory 2025, 2028, ad infinitum, 12 terms, Trump on Space Marine serum, living to 980 years old, and reigning America as a space empire for 1,000 years. There are people that are like that. There are people who will say, oh, like killing that lady isn't a big deal. Like, what are American citizen? Fuck that. Like it's cool ass did their job. They killed that lady. And I didn't have an opinion on that for a while. And I even tweeted out something in support for a little bit, like in support of the particular individual who ended up shooting the lady at first. Because I really didn't know, because you can't tell if he is hitting her or not directly, or she's hitting him or not directly. You can't tell where he's at precisely on the front bumper of the car. When he shoots at her when she's in drive, that's justified. But the two follow-up shots through the car when he's literally standing on the side are not justified. So I look at that, and that should be a simple calculation of this is wrong, right? But there are people that will support that ad infinitum. And then there are the people that in reaction to it will go out at night, and we played the clip. It's like, we don't say her name for her. She was a white lady. Like, fuck that. We don't care. Like, she race traded. That makes her good. And like that, and that's the political politic going into the future. It is these two sides fighting each other. And I was about to say there isn't room. We need to make room for something else. Just be like, we're done with the craziness. Like, no more craziness. Like, you're going to act like a reasonable adult. You're going to be an American. You're going to care about other Americans. We're not doing this anymore. We're not doing the race-based hatred. We're not doing the DEI stuff. We're also not going to do the authoritarian stuff. We're also not going to do the domestic military force stuff. We're not doing that either. And I just think that's called being an American. I don't think it's a political position. I think it's just what we all should be and what we all are. And we've been trained to think that we're not that. We've put into whatever group or classification it is, because it's fun to fight and it's fun to go to war and all these things and X, Y, Z. But eventually we all have lives, right? We all have families. We all have people that we care about. And what is owning whatever group worth if the entire system is burned down? And we're like less than a decade away from that, guys, away from this being like not fixable anymore. And like, I'll never move. But, you know, it is a reasonable choice for a lot of people in the long term, because this country, like meta Brazil, long term, if we don't find some way to heal the just like core divide of the country somehow, if we don't stop hating each other, because I don't think people used to hate each other this much. I don't remember people hating each other this much when I was a kid. I don't remember this at all. This was not a thing. And now it's really weird. It's gotten to a point where it's time to chill out. And that's my message. It's a chill stream. It's time to chill out. It's time to not do that stuff anymore. It's enough of it. Look where it's gotten us. Look where it's gotten us, fighting with each other. When this is an interesting point. I'll make this point. I know I'm talking about a lot of stuff. We're going to get into the news, and I'm going to read y'all's comments as well after this. This is an interesting point. What does it mean for America to be the greatest country in the world? Is it the neocon vision of us being the best at the war and the bombing and the intimidation and the spying and the intrigue and the death and the pillaging of these other countries and the doing war upon them and taking advantage of them and X, Y, Z? Or would it be us truly being friends with everybody, having the best relationship with everybody, having the best relationship with ourselves and treating our citizens better and prioritizing them instead of prioritizing the rape of other nations? It's a double rape, because they rape us too while they rape the other nations. It's at another level. And when you think about it, just from a strategic perspective, why would you do this? Why would you be so cruel? And it's because they recognize inherently that it's a flawed system and that it's going to end eventually because it's not designed to work for people. So they're going to speed run it and get the loot as quickly as they can, and then they're going to leave. Those are my thoughts. That's all I wanted to say for now. We're going to get into some news, into some other stuff tonight. A lot of comments. I'm going to scroll up for a while, and then I'm going to scroll down and read. Fuentes thinks more black and white than anything, almost two-dimensional in a sense. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think he's very smart. I think he has a political agenda, and I think he's just representing that political agenda. Your dad legit raised us all to be against everything Trump has become. Yes, I agree. I agree with that, Super Muppet. Common Censor. Yeah, I think the Gaza war is destroying conservatism because you can't defend killing children. Yes, and that's the perfect example of a catch-22, right? Because for the Republicans, you're supposed to be pro-life, supposed to be anti-war, the Trump meta, all these things, all that is disproved by the genocide in Gaza, a complete lie. And then with the Democrats, you're supposed to be anti-colonialist, anti-white people, anti-imperialism, whatever. And then you got blue-eyed people in the desert from Poland, right? So it's got to be, it's hard work being a Zionist. And I guess that's why, oh, damn. My thing fall out. My thing fall out on me. Little issue with this. I may have to switch to plan B. May have to switch to emergency mic. Okay. There we go. Show saved, crisis averted. It must be very interesting to be a Zionist because you have so few friends. You have to be so tight-knit with each other. And I guess that's the whole scam, the whole thing, right? Because like who wants to be friends with those people? At the end of the day, they're rabid and they kill children. And they go, oh, it's a blood libel. You can't do a blood libel. And it's like, well, you know, how many AIDS centers were there when the UN was there? And then how many were there when y'all took over? You went from 400 to 4. And then the people that are coming to the AIDS centers, you made them line up like cattle and get shot. And there's countless videos of the snipers shooting children and cheering. There's video of Destiny, of Stephen Bunnell, flying over, doing, I guess, a vlog in wartime Israel, genocide time Israel, and telling the soldiers, going, look, I get you want to be funny and take photos of the women's lingerie that you have on after you've killed them and cleared the house or done whatever to them, taken them prisoner. And I get that. That's okay. Just stop filming it, because people see that and they're like, this is crazy. This is wrong. So, I mean, we have to deal with a government that views that as legitimate. That's the mainline thinking, that we just ignore that or support it in full. I reject that completely, and the younger generation does too. And like this is why Zoran Mamdani won, and they don't get it. They don't get it. And I saw the excellent critique from Keaton and Russell of Due Dissidence. What was it exactly that they said? Let me recall. Excellent critique from Keaton and Russell. They ran on Mamdani being like the scary Muslim guy that's going to like hurt all the Jews or whatever in New York and do whatever and be anti-Semitic. They couldn't paint him as the guy that's both that and the guy that's like the trans socialist, right? So they chose that lane of attack, and then they couldn't use the other one, right? And that's why that guy won ultimately, is because he goes on the debate stage. And then the debate question, it's a weird one that gets asked. You're running for mayor of a city in America. Why would they ask you what your first foreign visit is going to be? Shouldn't your entire job be to be in New York the entire time you're the mayor? I would think so. I guess I'm retarded or whatever. But, you know, if I'm retarded, maybe like Eric Adams, I too can be mayor. So this is interesting. And this is a developing situation. But like he won because everyone else said, oh, I go to Israel. I go to Israel. What is it that he said? Like, I'd stay here in New York for my constituents. And I mean, there's photos of him with the giant hat on, the cylindrical hat. They have the tiny hat. They also have the giant one. And like, of course, he's someone's operation, right? But he's new politic. And the new politic, new meta is being against this stuff because young people can't stand it. I think it's like 75% of young people under 30 in New York voted for the guy. And like, you can't stop that at a national level. And as bad as AOC is, like, we all know, like, oh, she's crazy, she's terrible, she's the worst, XYZ. Vast majority of people don't know anything about politics or who anyone is. They know a few names. And then, like, she's a name that's known. So then this administration crashes and burns and does whatever, loses the trust of the American public. Someone like that can very easily get in. I mean, look at Trump. Like, he's proof of that. Beyond anything, he's proof of that. He did the was it Teddy Roosevelt that did it twice? Was it also him? I'm thinking of another one. It's funny. I have a presidential mouse pad right here. Let's see. What was his name? What was this guy's name? I used to know them all. It's very sad. Grover Cleveland. That's right. Grover Cleveland. Good old Grover. I think he was the one that did it, not TDR. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I think, or not TDR, Teddy Roosevelt. I think Teddy Roosevelt ran again and lost, right? I think that's why I got confused. But let's see what y'all have to say. Maduro needed to be prosecuted. Venezuela still has a leader who the Peace Prize winner who wants to share her Peace Prize with Trump. Man. I agree, Rex. I almost convinced myself I was blackpilled, but reality isn't blackpilling. I hope Trump really was the guy to do way more good than what I see right now. I mean, I'm at a point where I throw my hands up and I'm like, enough is enough. Like, I care about knowing about it, but I don't care about caring about it anymore, if that makes sense. You have to remain knowledgeable and informed, but at the same time, like, what am I waiting on here? I've been waiting on it like since I was like a little kid. Since I saw him come down the escalator, not a little kid, but like teenager. And like, what is the story? Worse than Biden by a lot. Trump. That's what Super Muppet says. Nah, not that far, man. Dahar, not much is changing. It's just the virtue signaling era is over and people realize they aren't actually good people. Yeah, but I would say it's the other way around. I'd say it's increased to a point to where people realize in the virtue signaling that they're not actually good people and they're doing the virtue signaling because they understand that. Many people choose denial. Yeah, of course. Conservative or Democrat, both are Israel supporters. Yeah, you don't get to vote against it. Call-in segment, 60-second cap, like that other popular podcast with Tony H. Don't know who that is. I mean, we try. I mean, we do call-ins on the show, and I put the number out, and I get like 3 people to call in. And like, it costs money to run the service that we do, the call-in service. So I just like, until we get the stream a little more solidified for myself and for the full Gray Area show on Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, we'll save call-ins for special preset times. We know we either have people or it'll be like a high volume day where a lot of people will call in because we put the number out and then it doesn't get hit. And that sucks. Because like, I see y'all here, like I'm reading y'all stuff, and like, and when I say it doesn't hit, we get like 5 or 10 people that call in, but we need more people to call in. We can't have repeat guests all the time. We like having people back, but it's a lot. Now my dog is eating something very loud. Let me know if y'all can hear that with the dog. It's very annoying. I think it's a bone. I would love to know how Alex lost his way so far that he supports everything he was once against. Well, I mean, like it sucks believing in something for super long, and it can make you, kind of get locked into that way of thinking. I think that's what happened. And you gotta understand, my dad's someone who's lost everything, right? And really misjustice has been done to him on the federal level, and we've received zero help from the new administration when it comes to the FBI and DOJ stuff. I think it's like 48 million government funding for the lawsuits against us in total. So like, I just, y'all like to get on my dad and beat him to death and torment him online. And like, I get that it's fun for people to do and whatever. And it's fun to tear someone down that has a name. And I understand the criticism. I really do. I have a lot of the same criticisms. But you invalidate 30 plus years of really hard work. You invalidate the reason really why, even if he's not the person that got you interested in things, the people that got you interested in things were inspired in part or in whole by him and what he was able to do. And you look at that, you look at the COVID time period, you look at the people that he stopped from getting the vaccine, you just throw that all in the trash. You go, well, fuck him. He's not what I like anymore because like I don't agree with him anymore on this position, or I think this position is stupid. It is what it is. Like if you want to hear me dance and sing and go fuck Netanyahu, Israel belongs in the garbage disposal with the switch turned on, blah blah blah, whatever. I'll say it all day for you as long as you want. I'll do the tap dance, but you're just gonna come after him and criticize him no matter what I do anyway, no matter what my actual position is. So. Like, my position's been clear. I've done 40 episodes plus of the gray area with Tim. And like, I'm I consider it to be a terrorist state, but that's not good enough for people. And then it's the Freemason and this Dragon Ball Z mafia, space alien overlord, whatever. So I'm done. I had people when I was 10 years old try to give me moon landing files that had like burn marks over half of their body. And they wanted to tell me the truth too about stuff, and I didn't know anything. And I like, you need to be convinced. I'm good. No, thank you. I'm good on being convinced. I'm all right. So that's just my perspective. We all have different perspectives. I share a lot of the same criticisms, man. Like I get it. I really do. Israel is not our best ally. Yes, I agree, but don't spell it correctly. We gotta call them out correctly. For real. I honestly think he's in denial because he's gone all in on Trump. Well, I mean, it's just it's an interesting case, man. I'm not him ultimately, but y'all will just talk about that. That's fine. He walked in front of the car on purpose. They do that all the time to justify murder. Yeah, I don't like. I don't. He's not a domestic police officer. He's there to get illegals, and he killed an American citizen. And then people go, "Oh, the car." He's being ran over. Sure. All right. I'll say first shot's justified. But then when he's clear out of her way and then he fires more directly in her face, that's another level. So like that's, hey, it just, again, another person's dead. A lady died. And then it's like, oh, this is a great thing, America. And it's the most terrible thing was burn the country down. I'm just like, man, like, when do things get good? When do things actually improve? That's what I'm waiting for. You know, and what that means is the crash. Trump is the greatest president of all time. Do not mess with him. You're not as alpha as him. Good bait, but not good enough. Nick Fuentes and your dad got their YouTube channels back a few months ago, then seemed to disappear again. What happened there? I remember the day Alex said he got his YouTube back. Yeah, I mean they're censored, right? And you look at someone like Candace Owens, everyone's like, "Oh, she's the queen. She's for real." Oh, fuck! It died on me. We went black. Let's try to figure this out. We're in the Hall of Mirrors again. This keeps happening. We're going to do a computer swap. I have a brand new Alienware desktop that we need to plant in here and take this old computer out. This is an InfoWars IT computer. It's very old. It's a good computer for when it was built. But let's see. Program. Epic. Let's go. We even got the dog cam working. He left, but he was over there before. I mean, yeah, we're just censored. Or he's just censored, not me. I'm on all platforms now. It's cool. I'm not reading that, Super Muppet. In Minecraft, you're going to say stuff like that. You need to be careful about that. You can't make conditional statements like that. Christ. All right, Davey Hughes, I'll read your whole message. We're having fun tonight. It's a chill stream, and reading does not equal endorsement. Christ, when he left the second temple with his disciples, told us plainly, oh, there's my dog. What's up? What's up, Mr. Rue? Jack, are you still around? Are you still around? I'm live. Does he have water? Yeah, I actually kicked it when I got out of the gym and I refilled it right now. Oh, that's why you said fuck? Okay. All right. Sorry, bro. Thank you. I appreciate it. We're having a fun time tonight. Joined by Rupert the dog. If you haven't seen him before, he's a very good boy. He's a 120-pound Doberman pinscher. He's a large beast and he eats a lot of food. He eats more food than he's supposed to. He's very fat. He's been on a diet for a while now, like me, but we're getting more serious about it. He's got to lose some weight. But this dog, he's so athletic. He runs through the woods like 20 miles an hour, but like through like trees and stuff, and jumps off things and on things. It's crazy. What's up? I'm busy right now. We'll do the W word later. I'm sorry. Are you still here? There are sweet potato chews in the pantry. Will you bribe him? It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. And here's my thing. Like the dog fat, whatever, it's really bad because like when they get old, they need their joints and stuff to work right. And then it's a lot of load on them. That's the number one thing. Number two is like heart problems or something like that. I'm just like, look, he had a good life if that's the thing that gets him. This dog has stolen so much food. And it's because he's so huge, he can get in trash cans or like on countertops and sinks. And it's just that first year, you really can't. You got to do the core training there. And he's good and he's trained in most respects, but he steals human food. Red and white, Chick-fil-A, he knows. He knows it's good. All right, Davey Hughes, I'll read it. Christ, when he left the second temple with his disciples, told us plainly while pointing back at the temple, there will not be one stone left upon another, fulfilled in 79 AD when Titus sacked the temple. So the Wailing Wall of the New Pharisees prayed to must be the remnants of the Roman barracks. Yes, and that's proved by archaeology. They thrust their, oh man, my voice. They thrust their hips and bow, praying to something made with man's hands, and a Kabbalah like, Kabbalah. Oh, man. Thank you all for being here with me tonight. I appreciate the audience. I really do. Whoever's watching this, just like chilling, like me too. Me too. I'm chilling. Big chilling. Chill stream. Must be the remnants of the Roman barracks. They thrust their hips and bow, praying to something made with man's hands, satanic ritual, because Christ said they are Jews that are, in fact, the Jews, but are liars of the synagogue of Satan. Okay. Thank you, Davey Hughes. He is doing some horrible things, but not meaning you should get hung. Why are you so angry? Referring to the other comments. All right, I'm gonna scroll down because like I need to catch up with the comments. There are a lot of y'all in here tonight. I appreciate it. Chill Wave, W chillin'. Yeah, thank you. I do too. I am Spartacus, pulling a Marco. Your thoughts on Jim Caviezel? I don't know who that is. That's number one. I can look into it. Canceled for really endorsing Christ and is cool when musicians mock Christ. Yeah, I was literally about to say the French Olympics. Like that was crazy. I watched that live. I was like, what even is this? And it's like the stuff is designed to be offensive, and it's just beyond anything. I don't know anything about it. I'll look into it. You got 700 views on all platforms, almost 1K. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good, having fun. And it really like it isn't about the viewership for me. And like, you know, I appreciate Tim a lot because Tim's very driven. He wants to do this and do this well. I'm about this for the art of doing it and the art of conversation and just hanging out with you guys and the honor that I get of y'all deciding to spend some time with me, right? Like it really is. It's the thing that I wanted to do since I was as young as I can remember, right? Like I've always wanted to do this. And my main work is not this. So for the past 5 years, I've been in e-commerce. In the past year and a half, I've gotten an actual fulfillment and actual shipping and warehousing of things. But like I sell supplements, and that's another part of what I grew up doing, right? That's what I do now. I'm proud to do it. I love doing it. I enjoy doing it. I formulated a lot of stuff for InfoWars over the years and now for the new Alex Jones store run by the Bigley people. I wanted to do this because it was just, it was what I was inspired to do as a kid. It's what I thought was noble in a way. And there are a lot more noble things to do than this. And maybe it speaks to the lowliness of my talent in other respects. But, you know, I've always enjoyed talking to people, man. And like, it's always made me super happy. And I always loved doing live stuff. And it would make me so upset as a kid to have to film and tape reports and then post them to YouTube. And I would spend so many takes getting angry and yelling and swearing and cussing. And the people at InfoWars, good people like Michael Zimmerman, like Robert Dew, like Rob Dew. Oh man, like McBreen, all sorts of people over the years. People like that put up with me and allowed me to be in that environment. And I really did learn so much from that environment. And it's not about like the people at the Blaze or the people at the people over at MSNBC or the people at like a corporate operation. For them, it's about numbers. It's about AdSense and getting the spots right and having segments and XYZ. For me, it's always just been, hey man, like I got opinions on these things. I want to talk about it. I want to hear what other people have to say. I want to be aware of the political zeitgeist and the consciousness in the country and in the world. And I thought it was so cool as a kid that my dad would be like, okay, I got to stay up late tonight. I got to be on Coast to Coast. And it's like, wow, like people all over the country are going to listen to you talk about something. They're going to hear what you have to say. And then you get to hear what other people have to say that other people are listening to. It's incredible. And it's something that has been unanticipated throughout all of human history until now. And it's only because of like electricity and satellites and the internet that things like this are possible now. But like we really are living in the future. If you told some guy that lived in the hills in Scotland that this would be going on, like even 300 years ago, 200 years ago, even 100 years ago, he would tell you that you're out of your mind. But now, like we're sitting here and it's real. And I've watched the progression of it my entire life. It literally as long as I can remember. Perhaps even before that. Joined by the dog again. Hopefully he goes by the dog cam. I'll read some comments. No one gives a fuck about your dog. Well, we love him, man. We love him. He's a sweet boy, and he love you too. If you were here, as long as you didn't knock on the door at night and act like a burglar, then he'd probably rip your arm off. But if you were here and I was chill and he came over to you, you'd pet him and you love him. So like let's be nice to Rupert, okay? Rupert's a good man. And he's fat too. You can call him fat, but I'll say no one cares about him. L dog obsession. Well, I mean, come on, bro. Like, what do you have, cats? Who's going to protect your supplies when you're away from the camp, bro? Who's going to bite intruders for you? Tim is dope. Tim is cool. I like Tim a lot. Tim's a phenomenal guy. Noam and Tulsi need to announce at Sandy Hook. I'm not rich enough. I'm not rich enough, and I don't believe that. I'm not rich enough to say that. You're a nice guy, and I appreciated your comment about me being a Marxist, but watching InfoWars and loving Alex. Yeah, that's definitely rare. It's like a shiny Pokemon. That's very cool. I was very interested to hear about your background. There is no taking over InfoWars. InfoWars it's finito. Like, unless someone buys it, that's friendly and keeps him on, InfoWars, like, he needs to go do something else. And that's my opinion. And I love all the people that work there. They should go be a part of the new operation too. Like, ultimately, I think that they've really, like, the strategic thing has been to keep him in this state of suspended animation, right? Because, like, I went in there like a year and a half ago, and I cried because I thought it was going away, and then it's still there. I can still drive there and go in there. It's wild to me. But I feel for everyone there. You know, I grew up there. I spent more time in that building than any home I've ever lived in. What is your advice to someone who's just starting in e-commerce? Me too, bro. 5 years in and still just starting. I'm still figuring out stuff that I knew nothing about. I just started a small manufacturing operation. I just got my first few sales. What do you sell? That's very interesting. What items do you sell? Coast to Coast, always so dope. Yeah, those are the good old days. We love Rupert. Yeah, we love him. He's a lot, unfortunately, right now. What do you think of Kanye West? You know, I like, when it comes to music, I'm not like, some people are like car people or like music people or whatever. I'm not one of those people. Like, I like what I like to listen to. I like some Kanye songs. Graduation is a good album, like objectively a great album, like top 5. And a lot of people's like rap or hip hop, and I think that's for good reason. But you know, the art piece he did with the swastika and the Klan hood and all that stuff, making the statement of, oh, I can do this and it's okay to do this, but then I criticize Israel and then I get debanked and I can't do business anywhere. I thought that was very artistic And I was very interested in that when he did it. And it was very interesting to meet him. And I met him. He never spoke a word to me. He never spoke a word to me. He was standing in the InfoWars men's bathroom, which is like out in the hall by the studio and the actual production room where the crew is working, and just kind of like standing in the doorway for a while. I was like, oh, I didn't know who it was, and they're like, oh, that's Kanye West, and I was like, oh, interesting, because he's wearing the gimp suit, he's wearing the full hood and the jacket, and oh man, that was the day I met Fuentes too, very very briefly. I don't know these people. I really don't. But I met them once. I met Rogan once. Also at InfoWars, also in the hall. But not the same hall, a very different hall. A hall over by the war room side of things in the studio. So very interesting. A lot of encounters over the years. I met Roger Stone. Stop. Enough. I'm getting tired of you. I think the people in the audience are right. People in the audience are flaming Rupert. Yeah, dude, you can't be in here, bro. I should have put up the gate. Bro. I know, but he's so sweet. That's the problem. Joe Biden is creeping around my house right now. Yeah, animals are great. Like dogs are better than people. A Spawn Camp 1919. I wish God would make me retarded so I didn't have to understand how fucked up everything is. Yeah, I mean, like, imagine how amazing it would be to have Down syndrome and just be chill and be like, I like PB&J. That would be really cool. And like those are the best people, right? Is Trump going to be able to do it? This interest rate cap on credit cards at 10%. I mean, maybe, yeah. I mean, but like, it just like I look at these things and it's just like, oh, like I throw out this thing, I throw out the other thing, I throw out policy, $1776, $2,000 tariff dividend, whatever. And it's just like, well, like that doesn't fix the overall problem. Like, and this is the thing. It's an interesting point. I'll take a sip of water. Oh, 2 sips. It's an interesting point because they're always like, whatever politician it is, Democrat or Republican, they're like, we're going to get inflation down. We're going to reduce the amount and we're going to make it more affordable for Americans to live. And then whatever they do, if they get in office, the inflation still goes up, whatever. When does it ever go negative? When does the dollar become worth more? So it's always perpetually worth less. And the goal is for it to be worth less slightly slower than it's going to be anyway. And then the wages barely increase. And then we have to act like, oh, they're having a very important political debate. Oh, this is the Republican primary, the Democrat primary. Oh, they're running in it. It's what the people have to say. It's the people's choice for the country. And they're all like, fuck them people. We're going to get rich. Fuck you. This country's burning down. We know it's burning down, but we're going to invest in the market with insider knowledge. We're going to get rich. We're going to fund the defense companies. We know the recipe. And that's literally, aside from like less than a dozen of them, that's all of the politicians. House, Senate, executive branch, appointed, whatever. All of them wrapped up and included. Not one of them is worth a singular damn. Just one damn. Not a single one of them. Maybe Massey, right? Maybe him. And then you look at the other ones, and it's just like, there's nobody. And even worse, there's nobody with any name value. All the people with name value are the most insane ones. So when does it get negative inflation? And when does the world actually get better? Or when does America get better? For us, for Americans, not for people living in Israel that get our missile defense ships sent out there to spend our inventory to defend them in a war they started when they attacked Iran. Why does that happen? But then the homeless veteran dies in the street. Why does that happen? And then the people can't eat and feed themselves. Why does that happen? And my car insurance is like $500, $600 a month. Sure, I got an accident, whatever. That was a long time ago. It shouldn't be that much money. We're getting raped on all fronts. And they think it's okay to do. And they sell it by saying things are so unregulated and we allow you to get raped so much now, we'll even let you bet on the raping and when the raping happens with the fucking poly market with the call sheet. Is beyond anything ever conceived, ever considered before. No dystopian writer could ever get it this good, this lasered in, this dialed in, this locked in. It's beautiful. It really is. You have to admire the work it took to build the system, the amount of people you have to get to sign on to the system, and the amount of time it takes to run it to get to its logical conclusion. And we're still not even there. It's fascinating. What will happen next? Let's see what y'all have to say. Is Walz arrested yet? I mean, I'm sure they'll do that because people would love it. And then they need political goodwill. Yeah, I'm amazed by living in a world filled with potential animal friends. Let's go. Yeah, animals, dude, they're so dope. College dropout is good. I got my second repeat customer. Free speech. Kanye crazy. I 3D print. Making ornaments. Very interesting. Very interesting. I don't know much about 3D printing, but a lot of the guys at the office used to do that. They made some cool stuff. I'm historically black college marching band geek. Go to listen to a FAMU play Nadia's theme. His interview with Alex is so hilarious. I don't know who I'm referring to there. I am prototyping for year-round products. Rupert's a good boy. Have you met Trump? No, I've never met Trump. I was around my dad. My dad called Trump at some point in 2017. I was on the golf course. It was an evening. So, very interesting. I rescue cats. Cool. Nice. Little fur balls. Give them a home. I like cats. I like Rupert made friends with one. My roommate had one. Sadly, she was very old and she passed away recently. But Rupert made friends with the cat and they were sleeping on the couch together, man. Yeah, people with Down syndrome are nice. They're the nicest people. Corn Pop was a bad dude. Actually, my voice is gone. So it's the perfect time to do the Biden. Yeah, I wanted my son to go back to Delaware and to not be in Ukraine anymore. But he said, Dad, listen, he said, the fish scale, the rock here in Ukraine, it's off the chain, man. And he brought it home to the White House and they found out about it. It was a big scandal. We never found out the hunter did it. Anyway, Corn Pop was a bad dude. But yeah, that's not the best Biden impression. I haven't heard him speak in a while, so it's hard to kind of forget. All right. It's very interesting. You know, with doing the Trump impression, I think your cadence and the quality of what you're saying matters more in the Trump impression than the overall similarity to his voice. Because people, I can hear the dog. Rupert, come on. Come on, man. He's in the sink. You got to stop. Enough is enough, bro. I'm trying to be a professional here. Demon monkey. Tiger shark. Butter shark. What's up, butter shark? You like Rupert? You can go to goprimalcore.com and get something and support Rupert and his various endeavors in life. Really support us getting a switcher, but we'll get Rupert a treat too. It's linked up in the top thing in the show. You can look up the URL if you're interested. But that's my Rupert. That's my boy. Massive dog. A lot of the Dobermans that I've seen, they're like tiny things. And I guess I was told that the AKC tried to shrink them down in the 70s and 80s. Like the breed standard is like a 80 or like 75-pound dog. He's huge. He's massive. He's half European Doberman. And they say that's why. But like he's like a horse. I love your impressions. Thank you. I appreciate it. Are you following what's going on in Iran? Yeah, but I don't know how much to believe, right? Like I see a photo of a burning building and I see people protesting or rioting or whatever. And I'm like, okay, like where does this come from? Like who's showing me this and why? Like, is this a CIA thing? Like, is it organized? Probably, of course, definitely, right? Like we tweet about and brag about being ready to overthrow these places. Do you not think we're actively trying to overthrow them already? It's very interesting. Yeah, do it down. Do downtime. Come on. Downtime. Down. Do sit time. Come on. Come on, bud. I've lost control. I've lost control of the animal. No, dude. SCOTUS could rule next week that tariffs are being employed illegally. We would need to return $600 billion. No check for you, Rex. Yeah, I don't think that check is happening. Main reason I watch you is because I find it the best way to learn things politically. That's very, very kind. I really appreciate that. I just gobble this stuff, and I've gobbled it for years. Like I consume so much like news media and broadcast media. If you want to hear a summation of things, that honestly, I think my analysis is pretty. I think I'm pretty good. And there are things I don't know, and I'm honest about that. And like, if there's an opinion, like this thing that happened with the ice and the lady and whatnot, like I'm still wrapping my head around it. I don't claim to know everything immediately or to be the best person, but I think my takes are pretty spot on, and like I'm confident in them. And like, if I wasn't confident in my takes, I wouldn't do the show. But like, I know where I stand on these various points, and I think it's a place where a lot of Americans stand. It's just why must we suffer this on like every front? Like why can't we be what we've preached? Why can't we be pro liberty, pro freedom, pro America? Why must it always be for globalism at the end of the day? No offense. I didn't see the other comment. I don't know what you said. When's Iran going to overthrow its government? I'm sure Mossad and the CIA are everywhere. I mean, so I've followed a lot of Iranian news. I've followed people like Mohammed Murandi, who I guess like mouthpiece or whatever for the government or whatever. He's a good guy, and he talks well, and he represents the state's case well. You're looking at Iran. You're looking at a place where half the people are Persian, and a lot of the people are friendly towards the West and do want to leave the regime. And then you have Israel missile attack them, and then you have the 12-day war. And from what I've seen on channels like Dialogue Works, Judge Napolitano, hearing from the Mohammed Murandi guy, the support in Iran for the supreme leader is stronger than it was pre-war. But I then see the video of the burning thing, and I'm like, am I also being played? Am I also being propagandized? I don't know. It's very far away from where I live. So I just have to look at it and be like, we want it. We have a bunch of military assets in the region. We're probably going to deploy them at some point because we wouldn't have them there for no reason. And then Israel is the biggest extension of that, being the entire country is a military asset, right? It's the tail wagging the dog scenario. Do you argue politics with your dad? No, not really. I mean, we have discussions and stuff, but you don't want to argue with pops. You don't want to do that. We got hairy legs. Good Biden impression. As a dog owner, what do you think of Hassan the dog shocker? Despicable. He's a good boy. I think your chat is paused. Big chillin'. In Rumble. Oh. 1,000,000,000% a CIA operation. Yeah, maybe it is frozen. So I saw a couple of the same comments twice. Think we will be lucky enough for the ATF, CIA, and FBI to be shut down? I mean, I appreciate the optimism. I appreciate the desire. It's honorable what you want, and I want those things gotten rid of as well. But it's not going to happen. It's like the moon's made of cheese. Like it's not. It's made of rock. So like the current administration is not going to do that. They love the amount of federal power that they have, and they like using these agencies. I mean, Kash Patel. I mean, we rip on Dan Bongino, and we criticize Dan Bongino, right? And we meme on him, make fun of him, whatever. Kash Patel said that he was going to like level the Hoover building or make it a museum, and then he moved them into a bigger, nicer building. He's like, well, I mean, we just get rid of the building. Historically, it's been a bad place. Oh, it's like, no, when you promised to destroy it, you weren't making a physical claim. You're making a metaphysical claim of destroying what it stood for. And you empowered it further. So it's beyond anything. Obstruction isn't legal. Protesting is legal in the U.S. I miss the rains down in Africa. Toto. Very, very good. Very good. How wild is it that Trump's the deep state all the Republicans were hunting for? Trump's the pedophile they were looking for with the Democrats. I mean, like they're all implicated. That's my position, and I just look at it, I'm like, all right, it is what it is. You know, like whatever it is, it's there. If you think that is enough to shoot someone, no one can help you. Well, here's the thing: in front of the car, the singular, the first time, he's not a cop. but he is a cop at the same time, and he can make the argument and fear for his life, whatever. When he's out from in front of the car and when he brains her twice afterwards, that's unacceptable. And that should be a baseline position for any American. And I think the argument on due dissidence that they don't get enough training, I don't think that's the argument. I think they're told that they can do whatever they want. And like, that's not how this operation should be done for its longevity, because ideally you would want an operation that's able to work in the long term over various administrations to get these people out of here. Right. But instead, you're going to polarize everyone into hating any kind of action against this. And then it'll just more places. Look, I'm going to learn Spanish, and it's going to be Mexico. And I already live in Texas, so that's fine. And like, that's the way it is down here anyway. That's fine. Mexican people, Hispanic people are pretty chill. So very respectful, actually. But like, that's fine. And that's the future that's been chosen. And I was born past the point where I could have had a political impact on that. I'm a Zoomer. And now I just have to sit at it and look at it and like, what am I going to do? Am I going to rage about it and like lick Trump's boot harder? Or am I be like, okay, well, like, what's the best means of improving my situation and empowering people to improve theirs? Just talking about stuff, right? Like, maybe it's too late to affect change in that particular area, but at least I can make people aware of it so that when it happens, people are not like, oh, how'd this happen? How'd this happen? How'd this happen? It's like, well, like, we were on the road for a long time. It is what it is at the end of the day. So like cheers, guys. Cheers. So delicious. I have to ration the water. I have to ration it. I'm not a cop, but it looked cut and dry shoot to me. I mean, like, everyone has their opinion on it. That's not my opinion of it. But like, the first part of it, you can make the justifiable argument. I have Keaton Weiss's position on this. I agree with him. I agree with Keaton Weiss of due dissonance, and like that's my blanket statement. And I'm going to rewatch that episode and rewatch what he said, and I agree with it. It sounded like the truth to me, and I trust my judgment of such things. And it's like, oh, well, they want you a reason. Oh, you're just a civilian. You're not a police officer or a military. You don't get to talk about that. It's like, fuck that. Like, I'm an American. Like, we vote for war. Like, what are you talking about, motherfucker? Well, like, at the end of the day. So like, I was, oh, you don't get an opinion. You know, it's like, I get to vote, don't I? But I don't get to have an opinion on this because it might be different. Whatever. It is what it is. The chuds will always chud out, and that's left and right. So I just look at it, and I look at it getting worse and not better, and it being engineered to get worse and not better. And I'm like, okay, if that's the situation, that's the situation. It is what it is. All right, let's actually just keep repeating this, dude. Well, I'm pontificating. It's a chill stream. What do you want, Mozart? You want me to write music for you? Maybe I could do that. Maybe I can't. I can't do that. I can't cap. I cannot write music, but maybe you want me to sit here and practice in front of you, and then we can review notes. You're here. You're in the chat. It is what it is. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the game. You're welcome here. And then you're arguing with people in the comments, and then you don't want to be here. It's fine. The chud attack. It is what it is. But I'm a chud too. We're all united in chud. One under chud. That's the real slogan of the U.S. government. That should be on the dollar, because we don't honor God. We disrespect God. We kill babies. We kill 60 million babies, and then we put God on our currency. So maybe it should say, "In chud we trust." That would be good. That's a good T-shirt, actually. The T-shirt margins are pretty bad, but I bet that would do well. In chud we trust. So someone out there is smart. That's also a good alt. That's another. I promise I'll get into the news. I haven't even looked at the time of how long I've been filming. I assume it's been for quite a while. But what was I going to say? It was so good. I'm getting better at it, but I lose my thoughts sometimes. Okay. And it's gone. So ridiculous. But I'll give myself a little time to buffer. Y'all have heard me yap enough for a little bit. What was I saying? What was I saying? Chud. Something about chud. Actually, give me 1 second, guys. I'm about to return. Give me 1 second. And don't call in. Actually, I'm just gonna put the intro on loop. All right, I got the dog messing with me, and I got it being a bunch too or way too hot. Hey, you got to stop it, man. That's enough. Enough is enough, Rupert. Go out of there. Come on, man. Get out. Got to go out of here. Have to do it. Good boy. Do it down. Look at that. Look how cute that is. That's a big dog. That's a big dog. Any advice for a Boston University student on what to do after getting a degree? Like, a job is cool, but that can't be the end goal. Well, I mean, what is it you want out of life? You want a family. You want to be able to provide for that family. I would suggest figuring out how to utilize American business law to your advantage, starting some sort of company and selling some product or service to people, and using your degree as a credential to get in the door in whatever field of retail or sale or whatever you choose to do, and use that to your advantage. And specialized things that are more expensive, that have higher margin, like that's a go-to. I don't know what your degree is in. Rex has gotten ripped since 2025. I just stopped eating so much. I'm still fat. I'm still like 220. I've lost like 8 pounds. He has a shark buddy. Yeah, that used to be my old room as a kid. See, y'all get the deep lore. Oh, see, I haven't even started working out yet. I've just been eating better. But like I said, I'm done rushing myself. Now, I'm sad I lost my train of thought, because I was about to Michael Jordan that and just slam dunk. But let's just go ahead and get to news. So, it'd probably be good to present my screen. That would probably be the smart thing to do in this situation. So we had James Fishback on the show. This guy comes on the show, and like, I was so impressed by this guy. I was like, man, this is this is what it takes to be a candidate, huh? I'm like, wow, I certainly can't do that. But he was dialed in and on the level, and now we can say friend of the show. We covered this on the last gray area, but I wanted to talk about it again. I wanted to actually watch the Tucker with you guys, because I haven't seen it yet. I've been saving it for live audience. James Fishback draws spotlight with bold Florida governor bid on Tucker Carlson. Fishback, long shot Republican candidate for Florida governor in 2026, called for redirecting the state's $350 million in Israel bonds. I mean, we're gonna do the thing, but it's just like we live in a real country. What? How? Why? When? Do we do this too in Texas? Does every state do this? Why? Why on earth would this be going down? I'm sorry to pivot. It's just like I said, like, it's all a cartoon, man. Like, don't take anything too seriously. Now, that would be my advice. To down payment aid for young married couples, prioritizing locals over foreign investments. He sparred with host Tucker Carlson over Governor Ron DeSantis' anti-Semitism law. You're anti-Semitic for saying it, labeled a potential curb on free speech, while criticizing rivals like Byron Donalds for donor ties. The talk highlighted GOP tensions on nationalism in Israel, earning Carlson's endorsement, but sharp backlash from Laura Loomer. Oh, who can be surprised? As Fishback trails behind Donalds in the polls. So we got the interview here, and I guess we could start off watching the whole thing. I don't know how many nicotine pouch ads y'all want to see. Let's what do we want to see? Well, let's find out about the money to Israel, because that's interesting. Well, let's learn about that.
Well, what
does Florida have to do with Israel? It's so far away.
Right. So I actually was a government bond trader in a different life, which is to say 3 or 4 years ago. And so I traded government bonds and interest rate futures and all of that stuff. And so what happened was, after the tragedy that was October 7th, that it unequivocally was a tragedy.
Yeah, of course.
The Florida state government, state chief financial officer, Jimmy Patronis, who's now in Congress, he announced that to stand with Israel, we were going to start buying tens of millions, which became hundreds of millions of dollars in Israeli bonds. This was a purely political decision. It wasn't a decision that says, hey, the yield, the rate of return on Israeli debt is actually quite high, so we should buy some. No, it was to stand in solidarity with a foreign country. We are going to take taxpayer money and lend it in the form of a sovereign government bond purchase. They weren't even hiding how nakedly political they were. And just for a moment, I just want to.
But what about the pensioners who rely on the returns of those bonds to like fund their retirement, or the people of Florida? Isn't there fiduciary duty of the legislature to like look out for their interests, or is it only about helping Bibi?
The latter. Truly. I mean, you're right. And by the way, and I say this as someone who was a fiduciary as an investor.
Yes.
Think about it just for a moment. A country is going to war, is currently being confronted by a soon-to-be nuclear power in Iran, they say.
Yeah.
Is escalating tensions with all of its neighbors. Just objectively, forget what country that is.
Of course.
And now you think it's a good time to compromise your fiduciary responsibility and buy their government debt? I mean, like, can you imagine someone saying
that seems like a good long-term bet.
Investment, right? Can you imagine someone saying, like, whoever they are, and saying, like,
Tucker definitely did the Ozempic. You can definitely tell.
We just invaded Iraq in 2003. We should just stand with Iraq and buy their bonds. Like, forget who Saddam Hussein was. Like, why would it be a good idea to buy Iraqi government bonds? Right? And by the way, they don't offer a terrible amount of interest. Actually, Israeli bonds often yield less than U.S. treasuries.
No way.
Yeah. So it's not like they were yielding 20% and they were actually an objectively good decision for our pensioners. No, it was a nakedly political position without any risk reward. It was all risk and no reward to appease the Israeli government and donors.
Here's what I understand. So the donors in Florida, so there are a lot of very rich, very active donors in Florida who support Israel also. Why don't they send their money? I don't understand. Like, if you're a billionaire, why are you pressuring some poor low IQ Florida politician?
Right. And that's something. Am I muted? Okay, I got my sound back again. And that's an excellent point. And you know, it calls back to InfoWars and what happened with us. You know, they would have gotten InfoWars in 2024, they being the Onion people. Who's they? Oh, it's always they, a conspiracy lizard man. Oh, it's the lizard man going to get you. No, it's the Twilio founder, the guy that bought the Onion, the guy that tried to buy InfoWars. But he was so cheap that he only put up like $1 million and then promised the future earnings of the company as his like promissory note. And that didn't fly with the judge, which is the only reason why the lights are still on in the studio. So, like, these people that run these things, like they literally don't want to spend any money on anything. I'm the opposite. I spend too much. But like these people are like, oh, I don't want to spend $1 million. That's a lot of money. That's very expensive. That's a lot of money for me to spend. I'm just going to promise more money in the future. Or I'm going to get the state. I'm going to get the state to send money to my state. I'm not going to send money myself. Why would I do that? And when you look at it like that, it's like, oh, that's actually pretty smart, right? That actually makes a lot of sense why you're doing that.
To spend taxpayer money in a foreign country when you could just send your own money to a foreign country.
I actually think it is sadistic.
I think so too.
I think it's actually symbolic because you're right. A large hedge fund in Miami or Palm Beach it would be nothing to buy $380 million of Israeli bonds. They could have leverage. Nothing. It would be done in one day. But it's the symbolism of the solidarity. And by the way, the Florida state pension framework
be as good as him one day.
Prohibits all foreign government bond purchases with one exception, Israel.
Are you
so it is
serious?
Literally prohibited in their investment framework that you cannot buy the bonds of any country, Luxembourg, Switzerland, the UK, and those actually may be good investments. But Israel, in their own words, to stand in solidarity with them after October.
So you can only buy. So if you're a state and you want to invest, or if you're Florida, if you want to invest specifically, excuse me, you get two choices. It's U.S. and then Israel. So like super U.S. or super U.S. What do you want to do? I did not know that. Very interesting.
October 7th, we decided to send $385 million. And that's why as Florida governor, I'm going to divest that full 385 and then start a statewide, with that money, a statewide down payment assistance program. Because right now you got young couples across the state who are renting. They're staring down the prospect of the 50-year mortgage. They can't feel like they have any equity in their future.
What's a 50-year mortgage? Like, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
That's the solution to the affordability crisis.
You just turn everyone into a renter?
Yeah. It's usury. It's just imposing usury on us.
Of course, I knew the answer to my own question, but it's just so grotesque. It's hard to believe that's real.
But I think this is the frustration, not with the president, but with a lot of his advisors, is there are real concerns about affordability in my state. And number one is home ownership, right? If you can't buy a home, can you get married? If you can't get married, can you have kids? And if you can't have kids, then what on earth is the point, Tucker?
Exactly.
Right? And so I think the president instinctively recognizes that we have to solve this problem. But the solution isn't to go from 30 years of debt slavery to 50 years so you can save $100 a month. I mean, my dad and I did the math. And for the average home here in Florida, a 50-year mortgage would mean that if you paid $250,000 to the mortgage servicer, you would own precisely $18,000 of equity in your home.
Yeah. So like things like this, things like the 50-year mortgage, and it's like, oh, that's making things better. It's like, what? So like people that are going to do like the rental property hustle are going to be able to make more money, or like the Airbnb hustle are going to make more money. All it is at the end of the day is opportunities to grift, because there's nothing real anymore. You have to pretend that something is real. The entire economy, like, it disheartens me now. Like the way I'm having to learn advertising for TikTok. I've never done it before. I'm having to. I'll talk a little bit about my business. I might as well, and we'll get back to the Fishback thing. But we'll get into this because I'm not just a person who talks into the camera. I'm like, oh, it's my job. Oh, daddy's money. Oh, you're talking to the camera. Oh, no, it's like, no. Like I've been in business for 5 years. I left InfoWars in 2020. After creative differences, shall we say, clashing with my dad on things on Trump, and started the business, started drop shipping online, started selling InfoWars Life products once I was able to get access to them on a site called 50percentoff.com, a site that I still operate and a site that has knockout sleep support on it, which I've just recently reformulated. I've got that store. I've got Jones CBD, where I retail high quality CBD products. I've got bluevitality.com, which is more recent. That's a methylene blue store. And I've got more stores. I'll leave it at that. We've also got the Primal Core at Go Primal Core, but that's a joint venture between me and Tim, which is more recent. I've been running online stores for a long time, and I've been having to figure out TikTok marketing and the way they want you to approach people, and even to approach affiliates. It's idiocracy is real. Like, you pray for the country. Like, and I get it's still a real marketplace. People want to buy products, but it's like I have something that's great, and then I have to sell these people. And it feels like, like all the search terms and marketing terms they use are designed to take advantage of people. But I guess that's just modern advertising, right? I guess that's just how it's supposed to work. So it's very disheartening to see that. And it's very disheartening to see that writ large as a whole in society, where everything is a grift. So they promise you a 50-year mortgage, and they say, look, well, you can rent 3 duplexes to people and get it cheap and pay off the mortgage with the money you make. Oh, you're gonna do it. And it's like, man, like the people that can't eat, or the people that are having a hard time eating, or the people that are working 80 hours a week, they're not gonna be able to take care of your, or do your 50-year mortgage. And if they do your 50-year mortgage, they're just renting. Like that's like, people are gonna die. The life expectancy in America goes down. It doesn't go up. It goes explosion. Like, it's dropping. But we first world country. You got to support Trump and the good administration. They know what they're doing. They're in charge. 50-year mortgage. Oh, it's gonna be so good for you. And I was like, bro, like, just shut up. Like, enough is enough, man. Like, I disagree with a lot of people on this. I just, like, people go, oh, you criticize anything Trump does is bad. And I'm just like, well, man, it's just like the stuff that's quote unquote good doesn't fix anything. So, like, what's the point of it other than just being a distraction? Like, this is where I'm done. This is where I'm done with the URA stuff, the GOP stuff, the MAGA warrior stuff. I'm done with it. Info warrior, not MAGA warrior. Like, man, I want to say more stuff, but I don't want to crash out. So we'll go back to Fishback, and I'll read some comments. And feel free to comment. I'll read y'all's stuff. There's no super chats here. It's just me interacting with you. Wait, you operate that site? Yeah, I own that. I've owned that for a very long time, since 2021. I was buying from there. I thought it got shut down or something. Yeah, no, you can you can go back there and check out the product line that we have right now. It's a lot of the old stuff that you're probably shopping for Before, it's still like the only place you can get the super blue toothpaste, the peppermint and the bubble gum. And I still have it in stock. So if you want some, you can go ahead and shop on 50. And that's that's the store that I'm optimizing, or not optimizing. I'm using the cursed language, the HR language. That's the store I'm trying to launch on TikTok right now. But it's been around for years. I'm sick of being called I'm not American when I don't approve of Trump. Yeah, me too, man. I'm tired of it. Those people are not American, not us.
This is literally what was called out biblically, what we were warned
yes,
against.
It was. That's correct.
And so we have to be very honest about the system that they're creating. You know, I was kind of skeptical, I think in 15 and 16 when the World Economic Forum trotted out the year is 2030 and you will own nothing. We are rapidly racing toward that.
You shall eat the bug. You shall live in the coffin apartment. Oh, yes, very good.
Today. And people are getting off on it. And actually like in a sexual, sadistic way.
I totally agree.
That we are, I think, cucked to the point that we have to bend over. We can't own anything. We can't have jobs in our country anymore. And if we ask questions about why we sent $385 million, if I stand up as a candidate for governor, I am smeared by effectively the state media of Israel and called a threat to their country.
Well, you are a threat, actually, because, for example, I didn't know that. I didn't know.
No. Okay. I just saw a comment. All right. Do not buy anything from Happy Healthy Body Care. That guy, the guy that runs that store, was able to convince, I'll leave it at that. I don't want to get sued, but he's not a good person. Don't buy products from that store. He did not a nice person. So go to 50% off if you want to buy that stuff. Don't go to Happy Healthy.
That the state of Florida's pension fund had invested $300 million in Israeli bonds. And they're the only country that the state's allowed to buy bonds from. And I mean, I didn't know any of that. So just saying that out loud is a massive threat. I think all of this stuff happens because people don't know it's happening. And they're kind of lulled like cattle into a trance. Don't you think?
That's right.
Just glad you got good products.
So the genocide guy is the one who came up with the hate speech law. Now, was he a member of Congress then?
State's representatives.
State Randy Fine.
Yeah, State House.
Have you talked to him?
Well, he called me the other day, actually.
The genocide guy called you?
Yeah, the genocide guy called me. He woke me up at like 7 a.m.
That's never a good day.
He was breathing.
When the genocide guy calls and wakes you up.
He was breathing rather heavily.
I bet he was.
And I think he was in a car. I heard some Cheez-Its rumbling around in the back seat. I know that sound, Tucker. I know the difference between a Cheez-It and a Pringle. As a former addict.
Yeah,
but gosh, so he calls me and he says, I hear you're running against Byron. And I said,
but that'd be Byron Donalds.
That'd be Byron Donalds, yes.
Yep.
It goes with many names. We have H1 Byron, APAC Shakur. We can get into that later. But I hear you're running against Byron Donalds. And I said, yeah, I'm thinking about it. I perspective. I said, I'm thinking about it, Congressman. And he said, well, you know, you should know that it's not very nice to Byron if you did that. I said, I don't care what's nice to Byron, Congressman. I'm fighting for my state. My state is getting sold off in pieces by the property developers.
True.
It's getting sold off. What were once citrus groves and cattle ranches are now going to be Scam Altman's next AI data center. That's not what we stand for here in Florida. And so for 42 minutes,
yeah. When did we agree to get all these data centers built everywhere? Like there was a decision made when AI came out, like immediately after it came out, that it was the most important thing ever. And that it would run everything and it would do all of our work for us, and that it was a good thing. And that climate change, people can't have cows or eat beef anymore, but we get to build the data centers that will already are going to need to use twice the power that the current human race does. But then we're the problem. So like, this is the type of stuff that we need to hear from politicians. This is the type of stuff we need to hear from candidates. And like, this is what I want to hear from Fishback. And hearing this at national stage is very refreshing. This is the stuff people are pissed about. This is actual grassroots, ground level topic that affects people's lives. That is I want to say apolitical, but it's unprejudiced, it's unbiased, it's objectively bad. Whatever side of the aisle you're on, you should be against it, right? But it's cool because big business, right?
Proceeds to call me out, and I'm just listening. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm on mute. I'm just let him talk. But it was very clear, and this is before I had formally announced, but it was publicly talked about that I was seriously considering running, that a sitting member of Congress in Washington, D.C. at the time was taking.
I got scared there for a second because I looked down at the bottom of StreamYard and I saw the second screen where I'm presenting my screen to you guys. And I saw him and I thought I had him on the other line. Friend of the show, Mr. Fishback.
42 minutes out of his day, not to talk to a constituent about one of their needs, but to intimidate me into not challenging.
Do you think he was trying to intimidate you?
I think so. It didn't work.
I mean, if he laughs at the murder of children, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, right? Wow. Does he have power in the state?
Not really. He has power in the sense that he was the only Jewish Republican in Florida in the state House, state Senate. He, of course, then when Mike Waltz got appointed to National Security Advisor and did such a brilliant job there, his seat was vacant. And then Randy Fine quickly moved into the district and decided to run for Congress after quite literally 2 months beforehand being elected to the state Senate after having served in the state House. And that's why I'm proud to support my friend Aaron Baker, who's now running against Randy Fine, primarying him.
So Fine's not even from the district.
No, leave another comment. 67 U.S. No More Wars. Remember when they tried to bribe Kerry Lake on tape? No, tell me more about that.
No, he's not. He's from Brevard County down in Melbourne.
How did he get the seat? How did he win?
A lot of strings. And of course, the president came in and endorsed him as well. But a lot of very powerful people pulled strings. And it's actually a very deep red district that he only ended up winning by 5 points, which just shows you how deeply detested he is by the people of Florida's 6th congressional district.
Well, yeah. I mean, members of Congress shouldn't.
Why are you against the situation in Venezuela? It was a quick, efficient operation, and we gained access to the oil with no real downsides. Venezuela lost a bad dictator. I'm against it for the same reason I was against Biden weaponizing SWIFT against the Russians and the seizure of the Russian assets. I'm against it in the same way I was against Israel's strike on Iran and then our subsequent strike on Iran. I'm against our acts of war that Congress don't vote on. I've read the Constitution and I believe in it, and I believe in the War Powers Act, and I believe in the separation of powers and the power of Congress and ultimately the power of us to decide whether we want to go to war or not. And you can look at it and go, oh, it went well. And I'll agree with you. It did go well. Objectively, you can't say it was a failed operation. It was a successful operation, but it was an operation they didn't have the authority to run. And if you're going to cede them the authority to run that operation, one day they will run an operation like that doesn't go well. One day they'll run an operation like that and they'll get us nuked. They'll get us killed. And then, it was cool when it went well. When I was playing Russian roulette and I had the gun and I was holding it up to my head in Minecraft, in theory, in giving the metaphor, the analogy, when I pulled the trigger and it didn't go off, I was like, amazing. I get to pull the trigger again. And that's the mentality when I read that. And I get wanting to be proud of something America has done. That's cool because I want that too. I wanted that too. But instead of a peace deal or a trade deal or a legitimate deal, we have to take a country's leader and then either install new leadership or bully existing leadership into doing whatever we want. And then the people of that country don't get a choice. But we are America and we get to make that choice for them because we are better than them. And this is the thinking. And I ain't there. I don't agree. And it's a difference of opinion that runs very deep. It's just not what I was brought up to accept. I'm against killing. Fair. Yeah, that's just my take. And everyone has a different opinion on things. Me and Tim disagree on a lot of different topics, but we're able to have discussions, right? Because we're sane, rational adults.
Endorse genocide or laugh at the murder of children.
No.
That's disqualifying.
Right. Quite literally starve away when there was an image. This is July of 2025. An image.
Palestinian is just another word for demon, Randy Fine.
Of children starving. His answer was starve away. A sitting member.
I called the Speaker of the House when that happened, and I don't get involved in anything really, but I said, I don't know how you can have this guy.
Imagine the power of Tucker. Like the access that he has. And then I covered it, or I talked about it on the last stream, but I was watching Owen's show yesterday where Trump had the oil baron meeting where they're all coming in to divide up Venezuela, like one of those old political cartoons about Europe and Africa. And Tucker was there, and apparently Trump gave him some new shoes. So it's very interesting, and we don't know how the machinations of everything truly work. I certainly don't know. I have no idea, but it's just, if you look at it and observe it truly just from just taking like all bias out of it, making it null. The world politic and then American politic, or American politic and then world politic by extension, it's such an interesting, rough ecosystem. That's what it is. It's a rough ecosystem. It churns and it breaks people and it spits them out and then it does the whole thing again. And it's interesting to look at a guy like this. This guy has major power and major positioning, and he's just, I'm me, I'm Tucker. And it's like the Yoda or Palpatine thing of like, I'm too weak, or like, I'm just a little old green man with a cane. But this guy can move heaven and earth, politically speaking.
In the Republican Party, I'm not going to vote for that. I would never vote for a party that endorses killing kids. Why would I do that? I'm a human being.
But George Santos got some Botox, and he gets expelled. I mean, think about that for a second, right?
No, still starve away. That's like, it's everything that we have to be against.
That's right. And I think whichever side of that conflict, and I think most Americans, they resonate with the words of President Trump, is you want the killing to stop, whether it's in Ukraine, Russia, Israel, it doesn't matter.
If I was a Jewish Israeli Zionist, I would still feel that way. You can't ever.
We don't agree on abortion. I think abortion is murder. Tim thinks that there are reasons for it.
Or laugh at the death of children. It's nothing. It's totally disqualifying.
To the point where he was literally disavowed by AIPAC.
Yeah.
Literally disavowed by
takes a lot.
AIPAC, of all groups. Speaking of which, Miriam Adelson has already announced that she's funding a war chest against me. Told that to NBC News last month.
Yeah. Against you?
Against me, called me out by name. We're monitoring. They did the meme, Tucker. We're literally monitoring the situation, is what was said. And Miss Adelson will be raising a war chest against Mr. Fishback.
Miriam Adelson is spending against you.
Yes.
And Trump made a claim at like the gala or wherever where he was speaking and glazing Miriam. I think it was actually in Israel. And he's like, she's got 60 billion in the bank. Who do you know that's got 60 billion in the bank? And however much money she has, it's ungodly. But like, if you're a billionaire, it doesn't cost you anything. I mean, politicians sell out for like less than $1 million, way less than that, less than half that. It doesn't cost anything to buy people. It's very cheap and very effective. Makes sense, right? And the system's set up that way.
And she's backing
Byron.
And that's why you call him AIPAC Shakur,
among other reasons. So, it's the second part of it for other reasons. I wouldn't call Randy AIPAC Shakur.
That is just too funny.
You don't need to be an economist to see what's happening. The dollar is in trillion.
We're not doing your
dollar. It's not anything to do with spot prices. Everyone with honesty.
See,
so if you've been
look how I know. Look how. No, we're not doing it, Tugger. Please buy my gold, please get it. Please buy my gold, battalion metals, please.
To AIPAC Shakur.
Well, his campaign called me racist. Not for that comment, but because I called him a slave to his donors.
Yeah.
And I said, with all due respect, I'll stop calling you a slave if you give the money back. The $45 million you gave to your donor, that your donors gave you.
$45 million?
$45 million in a primary that was uncontested until 5 weeks ago.
No way.
$45 million.
It's a lot of money to just like
in an uncontested primary until 5 weeks ago, until I entered.
And that was all to encourage him to make Florida better?
Houses.
Apparently. And his idea of making Florida better, in his own words, he wants to, quote, speed up the construction of AI data centers. His words. He said in a private meeting with donors, I have a friend of mine who was there, and he said, what do you think about Fishback's proposal to ban Blackstone from buying single-family homes and forcing us to rent as opposed to own? And what Byron told the donor in that meeting is that Blackstone bailed the economy. They saved us in the financial crisis. They deserve to be able to buy those homes. That's capitalism. That was his response. And I say, look, the goal here is we need to look out for our own people. When a family of 4 is getting outbid by $1,500 by a private equity firm that's taking Chinese money at the capital gains rate, as opposed to the rate that you and I pay and everyone else pays,
they pay half the tax.
They pay half. Carried interest.
The place to get Super Blue Hypha Central is 50percentoff.com. That's 50percentoff.com. Deals on there. Most things half off. 50percentoff.com.
20%. And he thinks that because of what Blackstone did, which they didn't actually do, what Blackstone allegedly did in 2008 gives them cover to run roughshod over all of us and to take homes from under our feet. And this is not a hypothetical thing. This is happening right now.
Byron said that?
Byron said that to a donor. Because what I have said, Executive Order number 3, is that I would ban Blackstone, any private equity firm, any Airbnb speculator, and any foreign national from buying a single family home in this state of Florida. You don't get to have a right to our homes.
Shouldn't that have been the thing that Trump did, like on a national level, so that it's illegal, so that they can not do this anymore? Why all the states have to take action? Like, where's the real America First agenda that we have to have individual political candidates do this instead of just having the guy that said he was America First do this for us, right? But of course, he meets with these people, he does business with them. I mean, he sends Larry Fink with Witkoff and Kushner to go meet with Zelensky. So it's beyond anything.
If you or I were to go to Canada right now and buy a single family home, we would legally be prohibited from doing so. Because say what you want about Trudeau or Carney, I guess they got the memo that Canada is for Canadians. America's for Americans. And I don't think it's okay that a Chinese national, a Russian national, or an Israeli national can come here and outbid a family that's known this state for 2-3 generations and say, you know what, that home that you wanted to buy to get married to your wife and to have 3 kids, that's not available anymore because a foreign national wants to vacation here for 5 weeks out of the year.
Man, you're spinning me up. Getting mad just hearing this.
All right, well, we can end that there for now. I don't want tonight's stream to go on for too long. I appreciate all of y'all that have been here with me tonight. I wanted to get into this. I thought this was an excellent report or program done by Judge Napolitano, and I would really highly recommend, if you're going to do anything on YouTube, this is one of the best uses of your time, is to go subscribe to him and to watch his stuff. Dialogue Works with Nima as well. They have excellent professional guests. You'll actually get geopolitical news of a high caliber, the kind that I'm used to anyway. It's what I expect with Judging Freedom and with Dialogue Works. I highly recommend. And I had some debate highlights. We don't need to get into that. Breaking: Trump reportedly ordered special military or special forces commanders to plan invasion of Greenland. Oh, how nice. It's another thing we wanted. But the move is facing resistance from military leadership. I'm more pro this, and I said I was more pro this on the last stream, not the military intervention necessarily, but we own Europe's ass. We own them. I don't care how much they cry and scream and kick and wail. We own them. I mean, what is Denmark? Denmark is a joke. Why can't we make a deal? And the PM said he was open. The Greenland PM said he was open to making a deal with us. Why can't we make a deal? I don't understand why there's no reason to send the military there. They're not hostile. They're not. Is that where all the fentanyl is? It's hidden in the ice? Is that the real location? But why are we doing this, man? And people are making money off this in the administration, either betting for or against this on this market. Breaking: 43% chance the U.S. takes control of Greenland. What we know, Trump says is important for national security. He says he's willing to use military force. Why? If we get to do this, why do the Russians not get to take the entirety of Ukraine, and why do the Chinese not get to take Taiwan? Here's the thing: we can do these things, and people are like, yeah, we can do it, therefore we should do it. We do it, we lose the moral authority. That's the real price of doing it. So you can go, we don't have moral authority, we do whatever we want. But yeah, sadly, or I guess truly, we actually do have the moral authority still somehow a little bit, at least on the world stage. There's still that perception. But stuff like this, it's going to delete all the goodwill we have left. And we got the clip. We'll go ahead and play the clip.
To get them on board with a possible U.S.
I'm not talking about money for Greenland yet. I might talk about that. But right now, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not, because if we don't do it,
we're going to do something to Greenland, whether we like it or not. And he's about to get queued up to say, if we don't do it, Russia or China will do something. What are they going to do? Make a trade deal with them or something? We want the rare earth and the Arctic positioning. And this is how you can tell that he's on the CIA FedSlop mind control program. Is he's talking about the war in the Arctic, because this is what the intelligence agencies are pushing for the decades to come, is the resource war up there over the oil. Whereas Russia has offered to cooperate with us. That we have one icebreaker ship, they have 20. They have a whole fleet of these nuclear powered ships, and they have a unique form of oil extraction they can do at sub-zero temperatures that we can't do. But We can't do the easiest thing in the world, which is just to make that deal. Like, instead, we threaten and posture. And like I said, like, this interests me. Like, I could see how taking or acquiring, I guess I should say, we should acquire Greenland. We should not take it. I get the argument for it, but the positioning for everything's war, everything's a fight, everything's a military operation. That's what I'm against. And how do people not understand that? Really?
Russia or China will take over Greenland, and we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor.
We have Russia as a neighbor. Alaska is a place you rule over, Mr. Emperor. They're our neighbor already. Like, what are you talking about?
I would like to make a deal, the easy way, but if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way.
Is literally Fleece Johnson. We do it the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. We can do it the easy way or the hard way. The choice is yours. Yeah, it's tough. It's my president. Yeah. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not against it, but it's just the attitude. And people will take this and be like, oh, the Gaza genocide's okay because the Greenland thing is cool. And I'm like, what?
And by the way, I'm a fan of Denmark too. I have to tell you, and they've been very nice to me. I'm a big fan, but the fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land.
The fact they had a boat land there 500 years ago, referring to Denmark, doesn't mean they own the land.
We had lots of boats go there also, but
we have lots of boats there also.
We need that because if you take a look outside of Greenland right now, there are Russian destroyers, there are Chinese destroyers.
The destroyer. It's going to shell Greenland and take it over. And everything's a fight. Everything's an op. We always, it's fight. And then it's just like, why can't we just chill, man? Like, why can't we make them a good offer instead of an offer they can't refuse?
And bigger. There are Russian submarines all over the place. We're not going to have Russia or China occupy Greenland, and that's what they're going to do if we don't. So we're going to be doing something with Greenland, either the nice way or the more difficult way. Please, go ahead, ma'am.
On Greenland, Mr. President, why is it so important to you to own it when you have a military presence there, which you could expand to affect security?
Because when we own it, we defend it. You don't defend leases the same way. You have to own it.
We own it. We defend it. You don't defend leases in the same way. All right. So we already have a military base there or whatever. Of course we do. We have like 600 of them. Of course, we got one everywhere. But you lease something, you don't defend it in the same way as you own it. Yeah, we're just going to take over your country. Like, your president? Oh, we're just going to take him. We're not going to take your president. We're just going to take your whole country. And there's a lot of nerve and a lot of balls for sure. I don't disagree with that, but it's just, does it make your life better? And the answer is no.
With a nation,
and like if we were able to peacefully acquire it, I think it would be a good thing for the country.
Look at what happened with Obama with that horrible deal they made with Iran. It was a short-term deal.
It was a good deal in hindsight. It was a great deal in hindsight.
It was like a 9-year deal. Countries can't make 9-year deals or even 100-year deals.
Countries can't make 9-year deals, but then he takes 10 trillion over 10 years from the UAE. It's all made up. None of it's real. None of it's real. People in the Situation Room playing on the iPad, none of it's valid.
Countries have to have ownership. And you defend ownership, you don't defend leases. And we'll have to defend Greenland. If we don't do it, China or Russia will. It's not going to happen. We are not going to have, and I like China, I like Russia, I love the people of China, I love the people of Russia. I get along very well with President Putin, but I'm very disappointed in him. I get along very well with President Xi. I'm going to go over to China in April. But I don't want them as a neighbor in Greenland. Not going to happen. And by the way, and NATO's got to understand that. I'm all for NATO. I saved NATO. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't have a NATO right now. But we're not going to allow Russia or China to occupy Greenland. And that's what's going to happen if we don't.
Interesting. Very interesting. It's all Russia, China. We have to take it. We have to take it. Why can't we make him a good deal instead of an offer they can't refuse. That's my position on that. But it's got everyone talking about it. And I have this up as well. And this is just some propaganda thing, or maybe it's real, whatever, same thing. And then I'm like, oh, am I going to go through this and read this whole thing? Probably not. It's an account from a security guard loyal to Maduro. On the day of operation, we didn't hear anything coming. We were on guard, but suddenly all our radar systems shut down. Next thing we saw were drones flying over our positions, did not react. After the drones, helicopters arrived. There were a few of them, I think barely 8. From those helicopters, soldiers came down, a small number, 20 men. The men were technologically very advanced Space Marines. They're sending Space Marines into the country, Ultramarines to attack. They didn't look like anything we fought against before. I send my Space Marines to South America to kill people and take the president. Oh, man. I didn't think this is where things were going to go. Just sitting back in my Tacoma in 2019, I didn't predict any of this. And the battle began. Yes, but it was a massacre. We were hundreds. But we had no chance. They were shooting with such precision and speed with their bolt guns. It seemed like each soldier, excuse me for my stuttering, please forgive me, was firing 300 rounds per minute. We couldn't do anything. And your own weapons, didn't they help? No help at all, because it wasn't just a weapon. At one point, they launched something. I don't know how they described it. It was like a very intense sound wave. Dude, they probably have such cool shit. They better for the money we spent buying it. I mean, dang. Those 20 men without a single casualty killed hundreds of us. We had no way to compete with their technology, with their weapons. I swear I never seen anything like it. We couldn't even stand up to that sonic weapon or whatever it was. Space Marine. Trump Hammer 40K, Space Marine. Very interesting. And then there's some meat on this bone. We could talk about this for a little bit. Protesters confront DHS agents outside LA detention center after fatal ICE shooting. I saw this developing today on Twitter. And I saw a few clips of people in LA protesting or rioting or whatever. Not good. Reminds me a lot of 2020. Big time. Big time reminds me of 2020. And it's just like people, this is sport for people on both sides. And they've designed it to get to this level so they have an excuse to use the civilian military force, which has ICE as an element of it. So you got people to cheer for that now. You got people to rally against that now so that they crack down even harder. It's a perfect scenario. And if you can't see it, like if you want to find coolness in something, you got to let go of it. You got to look at it objectively and like look at the factors contributing to this soup that's being cooked. Leftist slop account. And it's just they use the same language. And you look at like Brendan Dilley or Cat Turd or Bongino, and they talk the same way. And it really is ChatGPT because these people are retarded. You look at my tweets, and I will say this, and we'll say this to close out the show. You look at my tweets, it's me. And sometimes it's wrong or whatever, but it's still me. So there you go. I appreciated having y'all all here with me tonight. I hope you enjoyed the ramble at the beginning. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of the Fishback interview. And I hope you enjoyed the further news that we got into tonight. And, you know, just the broader scope and topic of things and developing in this new year and really making the commitment to you guys of being live every day. That's number one, whether it's with Tim or by myself. I'll be live. I'll be on the gray area every single day this year. It's about following these developing stories that we covered in 2025. And then before that, going on into the future. And like, I just, it's always a joy to read y'all's comments and in the live chat and see what y'all have to say, what y'all want to talk to me about. I like doing it. I really do. I really do. Thank you, Kyle. Great show. Thank you, Rudy. Thank you for being here with me tonight. Thank you, 67. No U.S. Wars. Thank you, Haifa Central. Thank you, Overlord. Where's Tim? Okay, so we went over this a few times. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. It's 11. My Casio is going off. That's how I know it's 11. I have my watch set to be 1 hour before, so I always have a little bit of extra time. So Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, that's Gray Area. That's me and Tim, and that's 2, 3, 4-hour show, 3, 4-hour show on Sunday. But then Monday, Friday, and then Saturday, you will have me here with you doing a solo show. So that's the formatting going into the new year of how we're going to do the broadcasting, because my goal is to be live every single day for y'all. And like it's fun. I love it. It's an honor to do it. I love spending time with y'all, and like I'll be here for you guys if you want to be here for me. So I'm around. Where's Tim? I appreciate you real and honest. I'm trying, man. Nobody's perfect. I'm certainly not, but I'm done saying I believe in this political system. And I want to cover it honestly, how I feel about it, without any strings attached, without being attached to any sort of parent broadcasting company. I just want to be real and independent, like Gucci Mane, and just tell the truth like Gucci Mane did. So thank you all very much. I'll scroll up a little bit because I missed some comments, and I want to get us over 210 for the length of the show. Chudonomics. United and Chud. Yeah, nation under Chud. I mean, that would go hard, right? Kind of like the gangster SpongeBob. Yeah. Okay, well, another thing is sometimes I'll see your comments, sometimes I won't. Like I know there's a lot of people on X that are talking, and I don't see that in StreamYard. And it sucks. But I wish it was all congruent. I really do wish it was all congruent. Well, thank you for being here with me tonight. Thank you for being here on Gray Area, RexX Gray Area. And you know what? I might as well. I talked about 50% off. I might as well. I'll just show you all the site. And if y'all want to get a classic InfoWars Live product that are still available, or new rebranded prior InfoWars Live products, there's no better place to go than 50percentoff.com. So we can check all this stuff out right here. I've got Brain Force Plus on there. I've got wound dressing gel. I've got knockout sleep support. I just reformulated this and got this back. It's a new label. It's got magnesium added to it. It's got L-theanine added to it. It's a reload of the classic formula. It's incredible. People have loved this for years. Rogan liked it. Me and my roommate were trying to find the clip of Rogan talking about this on the podcast, and it's like the most impossible thing in the world, because you can do a search for the words and consolidate all the transcripts, but it's Joe Rogan and it's the word knockout. So you kind of hit a brick wall there, because all he does is talk about MMA and people getting knocked out. But this is an incredible product. This is a product people have loved for years. Now it's back. Best-selling product for decades at 50percentoff.com. There's also Shroom Force products on there. And then, like I said, you got Brain Force. At that whole lineup right there. There's some other supplement products as well if you want to go check them out. And then we got the classic toothpaste. There's also the peppermint option on here as well. But, $10, $11, you can get a tube of toothpaste for 2 or 3 or 4. And, if you reach out in the comments, if you're interested, I can get you a discount code. And really try to revitalize this store and doing things with it going forward this year. This is still a very popular store. I mean, Alpha Power, you can't buy that anywhere. You can't buy that anywhere anymore but from me. So 50% off. And then, of course, go ahead and plug it, because it is the Gray Area after all. Go ahead and do a plug for both. I'll do a plug for multiple stores. Why not? Having fun with you guys. This is my day-to-day. At the end of the day, this is what I do. We'll do a quick rundown on the stores and just explore this real quick. So I've got Methylene Blue store. I've got BlueVitality.com. And, I wanted to do, because I'm just a big fan of InfoWars graphic design. I wanted to do a reload of the classic Silver Bullet product, if any of y'all remember it. And maybe we'll just relaunch that at a certain other point. Although I think the reason I didn't do that is because InfoWars Live has the trademark. But it's that same classic label design. I'm really comfortable with it. I love it. It's a phenomenal product. 10 milligrams methylene blue with alpha lipoic acid. That's a lot more powerful than the vitamin C in the Alex Jones store capsule version. I'll be honest with you. And you can get 10% off. You can do these deals. You can check it out. I'm going to have a liquid soon. And I'm going to fix the images on the store. I've just been so busy with other things. There's also the CBD store. There's Jones CBD. My thinking was I wanted to get into this market. It was kind of a mistake because high-risk stuff is hard to advertise online. as I found out later after starting the brand, but it sold really well. A lot of people, really, my forte is coming up with sleep products. My mentality when coming up with a sleep product is that it needs to be gentle, but it also needs to be insanely effective. And I do that both with Knockout and with Dreamwave PM Blend. And you're talking about full spectrum CBD. You're talking about buying 1,500 milligrams for me for $37, right? And then you look at somewhere else, you're going to charge you 50, 60 bucks. And this has melatonin, and this has blue chamomile in it. It's got 50 milligrams of full spectrum CBD in a full dropper combined with 3 milligrams of melatonin, and it's got blue chamomile in there. It's CO2 extracted from Germany. It's the best tasting thing. You're going to love it if you do decide to try it. And like, I can sell that product so hard because I love it. I take it every night. This is my daily driver, Dreamwave PM Blend. There's also Ultra Green, which is the nano emulsified, more bioavailable, 8 to 9 times more bioavailable. Incredibly powerful product, especially for joint pain, issues like that, and inflammation. And this is a nootropic that I came up with. Less inventory of this than the other ones because it sold so well. This is really good. So there's that. And then if you want to get the best male mineral blend on the market today, you go to Primal Core and you get Elemental Drive. And that's just a no-brainer. That's number one. Just like I said, Dreamwave is a daily driver product for me. Elemental Drive from Primal Core is also a daily driver product for me. So like, this is incredible. This has 5 to 6 core minerals in it, vitamins, you name it, everything you need to boost testosterone and free testosterone. And look, I mean, I'm sure I lost everyone doing that and whatever, and I'm just ranting, but like, this is what I've done for 5 years, right? Is sell various things online, right? And 50% off used to be a lot bigger. I started working for my granddad's store in 2023. It was having issues. It was at like 20, 30 a month. I brought it over a large number, and I got rewarded with a certain percentage of gross over a certain revenue target that had to be hit. And that store is Dr. Jones Naturals. That was what I was doing for 2023, 2024. I got real comfy, and 2025 rolls around. They sold it, and they sold it a couple months into getting me to do fulfillment for it. So I got the capability up to be able to do like $250,000 to $500,000 a month in fulfillment and shipping. I had to get a bigger warehouse. I had to get full-time employee, you name it. And they decided I was too expensive and they left me. So I've got to sell more products to justify the expense of having the giant warehouse. So it's not giant, it's reasonable. But like, I have the capability to be a big operation. And I know that because we have the best products around. And like, this has been loved by millions of Americans, hundreds of thousands at least. And combined with that, you got Primal Core, you got Jones CBD, you got Blue Vitality, and you've got more coming down the pipe every day. This is what I do. So just sharing a little bit of my private life with y'all, which is the work life. After I get off the show, whenever that is, I'm kind of doing the show to avoid it now. I have to get back on the computer and learn about TikTok Shop and its UI because something's got to change between Dr. Jones Naturals and Alex Jones Store. My customers, they're not coming to me; they're going to those places. So they need to come back home to 50% off, to go Primal Core, to Jones CBD, to Blue Vitality. If you want to get any of those products and you like me, support me and support the show, because I guarantee you'll get a higher quality show if more people start enjoying the products, because we'll have the ability to actually get a switcher and not have the cables falling out and the camera going to multi-view every 5 seconds. But I'll read some comments. I'll get done. I'm over 210 now. That's good. 130 minutes of filming tonight. How do you promote it? Email and some Google ads and some pre-existing customer base. I mean, last year I did real bad business. I didn't try hard enough, man. That's the honest truth. Dope shirt. Yeah, I think it's Realtree. It's just from Academy. I appreciate. Yes, it is Realtree. Yeah. I got you, Rex. Some of the products that you missed, I'll be heading there soon. Thank you. I appreciate it. And this is what I'm passionate about. It's like, I grew up, I'm just going to InfoWars and filming and doing work in the studio. I worked in the warehouse for a number of years. I used to do 40-hour weeks just like anybody else, do 14-hour shifts. And I developed real love for seeing products go out the door, and myself taking the products, knowing that they were good, and loving the design of them and getting to design them. This is what I'd always wanted to do going forward into the future. And for me, everyone's like, oh, it's all optimized and we're going to get the clicks and X, Y, Z. And it's this, that, the other thing. It's like, no, I have a love of the classic InfoWars Live product design. And that's the thing that out of everything, I got to see Operation grow from like 3 people to 79 in like under a decade. And like, I'm inspired to do that myself and for other people. I want to give other people jobs and raises, you know? And like, I employ people. I'm an employer. So like life is real for me. And it's not just like a thing of like people pointed us, you know, like their favorite thing to do is they'll look at my dad and they'll look at him like film a video in his house. They go, look at his house. Look at all his money. Look at all the money he's got. The guy works for 30 years, 6 days a week, 3+ hours a day, filming, screaming into a mic, building a media operation, a supplement empire, has all that taken away from him. But because in Texas, you can keep a house and a car, homestead law, he still has that stuff. And then people point at him and go, you still have too much. And that's the stuff that inspires me to do well and to work and to do business and to try to build what we used to have all over again, is because like, screw those people, man. Like seriously, screw you. Like, you don't know how much we lost, how much was taken from us, how much we gave away. Like, you have no concept of it. It's the Ric Flair saying, I spilt more liquor than you've ever seen in your life. And like, and that's why, like, I disagree with my dad on a lot of stuff, vehemently on a lot of stuff. But like, I'll always defend my old man, because you got no idea what he's been through and the value that he's produced. And then people come in and they like got woke or woken up like 5 minutes ago or 5 years ago, and they want to act like they're all high and mighty. Like, where were you? That's number one, right? Right. All my shit is real tree. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's comfy, man. I was in the deer stand with this. I think I was wearing this when I killed the deer. Shit. Okay, hold on. We'll do something cool. I'm going to wrap the stream real soon. Wait for me, though. Do not leave. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I swear. Okay. And I'm not going to loop the intro because it does the restart again. I'm going to do the call-in screen, but don't call in. I'll be right back. Okay, nice. Thank you for sticking around, whoever stuck around. I appreciate it. The fucking thing is, every day I owe like 10,000 push-ups. I just have to do push-ups every day. And that's the resolution about the swear words, to be honest, because I'm in such a hole at this point. I know it never happened, but I'd love to get you and Alex in the flooded timber for a duck hunt. I just know that'd be amazing. That sounds badass, man. I want to go duck hunting. I've never been. Little 9-point. Look how cool that is. You got a little like hole there. I like unique stuff like that. I like, you got one that's longer than the other a little bit, but it's very pretty. He's a good deer. He's like 4-year-old deer. He had to go, you know, with a rack like that, being 4 years old, it's just not up to snuff. So he had to take a nap, but he's in my freezer right now. And I had him for lunch, and I'm going to have him again probably for dinner, or I guess late night snack after the show. Got a hamburger. I got butterfly steaks. I got fajita meat. I got backstrap. I got ribs. More hamburger. Got hamburger with pork fat. Got hamburger with beef fat. All of it. All the good stuff. But yeah. I think I was wearing this shirt, this long sleeve, when I took this guy, when I harvested him. And then Rupert's in here. Rupert wants to eat it. That's the problem. We got to keep the dog away from the skull. But yeah, thank y'all all for being here with me tonight. Very chill stream. Appreciate every single one of y'all that stuck around till the end. Thank you very much. God bless and good night.
modern life has left us out of balance. Long ago it was once said, certain remedies could grant a man the vitality of a horse. For over 6,000 years, these natural remedies have been harvested and tested by generations. Why create complex formulas when nature's roots are still in our hands? Try Primal Core, ancient remedies for modern life.